Hello, my name's Kelsey, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple French toast in a mug. So this is a weekend delicacy that is in a perfect single serving for you. So today we're going to need to make our French toast a microwave safe mug. This is a larger mug, but you can use a regular size mug. It works just as well. You'll also need an egg, a 1/4 cup of milk, 2 pieces of bread that have been buttered, so you can kind of see I've pre-buttered these bread slices for us, a teaspoon of cinnamon that we'll be using, and then also some maple syrup. And then finally, the kitchen tools besides our mug that are going to be important for this recipe are going to be a butter knife to butter your bread. And so I've already used my butter knife today to butter these 2 pieces of bread. And then also a fork for mixing. So we'll mix up all our items using this fork. So it's very simple and a quick recipe. It's 2 minutes in the microwave. So I'm going to just walk you through the steps of how to make it. The first thing we're going to do is get our mug. And we're going to mix together our egg. So we'll crack our egg into the mug. Let it do its thing here. We'll add our milk. So we're taking our 1/4 cup of milk and we're adding that in. And then we are going to add in our cinnamon, our 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So we'll add that in. And then finally, we're going to add some syrup. You could probably use a teaspoon of syrup. You could put 2 teaspoons of syrup. Really whatever you fancy when it comes to how syrupy you want your French toast to be and how you kind of prefer that, you know, the consistency of the bread, if it's saturated or not. And then we'll come back and we can use more of this syrup at the end as well to cover our French toast up. So once we have these 4 ingredients, the syrup, the egg, milk, and the cinnamon in our mug, our microwave safe mug, we're going to just kind of whisk them with our fork. So we're using our fork, we're whisking it, mixing it around. It smells really good with the cinnamon. So it's, you know, you're kind of getting that where you would dunk your bread in right before you would cook it on the stove. But this just makes it so much simpler and a lot less mess and cleanup with the pan, so I prefer it. And also it's just the perfect amount where I don't feel tempted to go back for more. So I don't know if any of you all have had those urges, but I definitely suffer from the urge of sweets. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 pieces of buttered bread and we're just going to break them up. We're going to use our fingers and we're going to break them almost like you'd be doing for like a meatloaf if you were going to do homemade meatloaf or meatballs and use bread in it. So we're just going to break it up. You can break it as large or as small as you really want it. I kind of folded it in so that I didn't get as much of the butter on my fingers, but you know, you do you as far as what works best for how you want to tear. And it's just simple tearing of the bread. If you don't like the outer crust, you can take that off and not use it. Another thing is this is a great way to use those the ends of the bread, right, that maybe we don't enjoy so much to use in a sandwich, but we could use it in this recipe then. So I'm just going to rinse off my fingers. Alright, so I have just thrown those buttered pieces of bread that I've ripped up into our mug. So you'll see they're in here, floating around with the liquid that we've mixed up. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to use the fork that you used before and just kind of mush it all in there. Make sure you're getting the liquid in there. So I don't know if you can see this very good, but just really, you know, mush it around, get it in there. And as you can see, there's lots of extra space in my mug. So like I mentioned, you could use a regular mug and it will function just as well for this recipe with 2 pieces of bread. If you have a smaller mug, you could do 1 piece of bread. So you can alter it to meet your needs. So once we are done and it's mixed up in there, you can kind of see, let's see if I can get it in the light for you. You can see the bread is nice and saturated in our liquid. The last step we have is to cook this. So it's as simple as putting it in our microwave. So I'm going to show you, I have the microwave above me here, in my home. And so I'm actually going to put a plate under it. And you could also use a plate to cover it as well. The one thing we'll need to watch with this is the potential that it could overflow. Now, that's why I chose a larger mug. However, we're still going to watch it. We're going to watch it. So, no worries. We're going to put it in our microwave, and we're going to select a cook time of 2 minutes. And we're going to push start. And we're going to keep our eyes on this and watch it. So here, I'm going to show you here. You can see it cooking in the microwave, and we're just going to watch and make sure that it doesn't overflow. If it is seeping up, like it's going to seep over your mug, stop, pause the cook time, let it simmer down, and then restart or start the cook time again. So it's 2 minutes total, but you can pause it and restart it as you need to, as many times as you need to if you're experiencing issues with it wanting to kind of flow over. And I put a plate under it for that purpose as well, just to kind of add that extra layer of protection to your microwave. So right now, we've got about a minute left of the cook time, and it's looking great. It smelled so good, so I'm excited for it to come out and try it. You can do multiple mugs. You can, so if you and your husband or wife, or for you and your children, you could make multiple single serve of these French toasts for them. And I would probably still stick to one at a time, especially because you may have that overflow happening with some of these ingredients while you're cooking. So I would probably do each mug separately, following the same steps in this video. So we've got about 20 seconds left. One other thing is, with this, it's a single serve option. So really, once you get it out of the microwave, give it a little, blow on it to cool a little, add your extra syrup, you're good to go as far as eating it, and you probably won't have leftovers. If you were to have leftovers, please know that this probably only would stay good for about a day, and you would want to cover it with some saran wrap and stick it in the fridge, and you could reheat it in your mug and have it the next day. But I wouldn't keep it longer than that. So we heard the beep. Be very careful. This is the time to grab your heat safe muffin pads, or like the gloves that you have some heat safe to remove this. And you can see it's nice and good. It's very hot, so I'm holding it to protect my hands with this, and I'm actually going to sit it on one of these for us. And the last thing we're going to do to finish this off is add some syrup. And use your creativity, so you can add as much or little as you want. And if you like cream on your French toast, you can add cream. You could add fruit, or you could even add some chocolate chips if you're a chocolate fan. So very versatile, very simple, and just a nice indulging breakfast food. And for breakfast time, for brunch, even for just a little snack, you don't have to feel guilty. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Very quick and simple. We'll see you next time.